What's going on, guys? This is another one of our Whiteboard Wednesday videos, and I wanted to go over how to obtain commercial accounts. So, right off the bat, with any major retail company or any company, any business that's large, medium to large, you're probably going to have to get a hold of a property manager. You're going to have to go on the website or somehow ask or find out who the property management company is. I mean, if you go into like a Burger King and ask that question, I highly doubt anybody will know that answer. Maybe the manager. But that's what you're going to have to do. You're going to have to get a hold of the property manager and then, or that company at least, find out what property management company. And you can Google all this with really high-end places and try to find out. But that's going to be the way to get to that company, to get your foot in the door, possibly. Again, those guys usually have other companies from strange areas come down and do all the Walmarts or all the 7-Elevens or all the Wawas. So again, the one thing you're going to have to do is get a hold of that property management company. You're going to have to find a way to do that. Second thing you could do, and that would be for like the high-end stores, like a Walmart, I don't know, anything like that, like a Lowe's. So right now I'm going to talk about medium to smaller sized commercial accounts because that's what we have. Two of our medium accounts, they're very large properties slash strange location type areas. They're owned by Rutgers College, and we do all of their maintenance on two of their large properties down here. And the other ones besides that are a couple local restaurants. So with smaller commercial accounts, you can probably go in the front door and ask for a manager. And I mean, if it's a small family business, you can probably ask who the owner is and do it that way. That's like I said, that's probably a lot easier than a full big giant commercial complex in the middle of town. But I would go into a medium to smaller sized, like you said, it is commercial technically, like a restaurant or a hotel or just a small mom and pop shop, and ask for the owner. And then if not, ask for an email. You can leave information about yourself. You can, have someone, just ask for someone to call you, leave your card, leave some other info. But the biggest thing where all of this circles back to is people are going to look into you. Whether it is a high-end commercial account, whether it is a small mom and pop shop, they are going to look into you. So obviously the first thing people do would be websites, Google, socials. So that's, you want to keep that in mind. If you go into a high-end restaurant and leave your information and say they are looking, and they go on the internet and type in your business's name and you don't come up, they're probably not going to use you. And I know a lot of, and I can relate heavily on this, a lot of small towns, it's like who knows who type deal. I originally have no family ties to stuff like that, so we door knocked, or built a brand for yourself and did it that way. But like I said, for smaller or medium type commercial accounts, leave some info about yourself. Make sure you have a website because they're going to look you up. And, ask the manager if you can leave a card, leave, a couple printouts of services you do. Something physical so they can hand to the owner. And on top of that, what you can do is send letters by mail and email. We do that every winter. We target about 30 to 50 commercial accounts within 10 miles from our shop. We usually get a couple bids every winter. It's usually not someone looking for quality work. They're looking for either like the middle priced maybe or the cheapest guy to show up. So that's probably our last winter doing it, because every year we send to the same places, and like I said, usually it's just the lowest bidder. And that's the problem with a lot of commercial work too, is they're going to look for the cheapest bidder. They really are. In your town you probably have trucks that are 20, 30 an hour minutes away from you, and they come all the way down here and do it for cheap. They can have it. Let them take it. But like I said, that's my personal opinion on all that. But when you want to reach out for the medium to large size commercial accounts, would be the fall before the new year or early winter before that spring. A lot of property management companies have everything lined up almost a year in advance or at least a few seasons in advance. So we start getting calls about snow usually in the summer and fall for that winter on high-end property or high-end commercial accounts. We don't do any of that nonsense because, again, they're looking for the cheapest bidder. You know, them guys, you guys can have that. But like I said, smaller ones will call and say, hey, spring's a few months away, can you leave us a bid? And like I said, that take it from there. If you're reaching out now, it might be a little too late, but depending on when this video comes out, you want to get there before spring. So that's your best bet with that. One major thing you're going to run into when it comes to those medium to large type properties is they're going to want full service. Just because you can mow does not mean you can turn the irrigation on, turn it off, put fertilizer down, spray for weeds. And we don't even do weed spraying or irrigation. You know, we'll fix heads and fix things, but I don't do chemicals like that. We do fertilization and pretty much everything else, but I'll make sure I do not target properties like that need that full service works. Because again, for the medium to high end locations, they want a company to kind of do it all. It's easier for them that way, for billing and things like that. So the small to medium commercial accounts we have, I was able to talk to the owner or talk to the manager and say, listen, we do all of this besides turning your water on and spraying for weeds, and then that's fine. They're such small locations where they just took on our recommendations for who we recommend. So I'll sum this all up real quick, guys. First off, if you're reaching out for commercial accounts, you need a website or you need something on the internet, because they're going to look you up. They're not going to just take your card and call you and say, yeah, show up with your mower tomorrow. Get a website, get something on Google, make your presence out there. Getting a hold of the larger accounts is going to be harder. You got to figure out who the property management company is, but you can probably Google most of that. Figure out who that is and get a hold of them, see if they're taking bids. My biggest recommendation is to go after the very small ones to the medium ones. When I say small ones, I don't even call them commercial accounts. Like, we have a short list of, like I said, mom and pop restaurants, things like that. Go in and ask for the owner, or go in and leave some information, and that person at the counter will leave that with the owner. You know, send them a letter in the mail stating who you are, what you do, with a few pages attached with work you do, you know, other locations you service maybe, and mail that to them. The owner will open his mail. It is a lot easier to reach out to the small and medium ones, and I really suggest you start with that. There are some cons to this commercial stuff. The two big properties we maintain for Rutgers University down here, they have a net 30 every time we mow. It's usually less, but I can tell you right now, when we cut that lawn at the end of the summer, I don't get that money sometimes until late fall into the winter. So you cannot bank on the commercial stuff. We are pretty much no longer taking commercial accounts. If they call and, you know, they're relatable and they're a small company or a small business, we will do it. You know, if it's something, I'll work with the owner and text the owner and go through him, we will do it. But I will not do the big stuff anymore. Now, some guys want that. You got to make sure you get paid when you want to, you know, when you need to get paid. And that's the biggest thing too, is I've had a few call me and I say, well, ask about how the payment works, because it's your business. Someone can't tell you when they're going to pay you. And if you want to do that, again, it works for the bigger guys, whatever. They figure it out, you know, how to budget and things like that. But I will not, someone will not tell me when they're going to pay me. I tell them when they're going to pay me if they want our service. So that's a big con when it comes to this commercial stuff. And I know a lot of these guys, you know, want commercial and they want to be seen on the main road or blah, blah. Go after the small stuff and the medium stuff first. It's a lot easier. Ask for the owner. You know, go in, leave some information. They'll look you up. They might call you. So again, make sure you have an online presence, because they're going to look you up regardless. And do this a few seasons in advance. Right now, it's end of February. Might be too early for the big ones and the medium ones, but it's probably not for the small ones. So send them something in the mail. Go on Google Maps, zoom out, target every location you want. You got the address, you got the name, and send them something in the mail, or find an email and do it that way. It's not as hard as you think, guys, but there are a lot of pros and cons of this commercial stuff. How they tell you when they're going to pay you blows my mind. So again, make sure, just because you get a bid or you place a bid, figure out how you're going to get paid when you're going to get paid, because that's, it's what you're doing this for. So I hope that helps, guys. Any comments below, or leave a comment below if you have a question. Again, we only do maybe like 6 commercial accounts, and they're all small besides 2. So that's my biggest suggestion, and how we did it when we got those accounts. So hope that helps, guys. Thanks for watching.